Hey Beth, it's Doug. This is going to be just a brief response to you and to anybody else that'll be watching this regarding the documentary that you're recommending. I will, as I said in my comment, I will be going to check that out, try to find it, and see if we can record it also. And as many people know, especially if you live in the U.S., February is Black History Month, and just a real brief history about me and my exposure to Black history. I grew up in Ohio and was very, very fortunate to live in a family where race was never something that wasn't. There were never racial issues in my family, and I know that's not true for so many kids growing up. So I was really blessed to be able to grow up that way. I was also very fortunate to go to a school. I've talked about my elementary school before that was so important in my upbringing, but that school, because you got into it via lottery, there were kids coming from all around the city of Columbus, which is a pretty big city, and so I got to meet kids of all races, all backgrounds, all socioeconomic, demographic groups, and I think that also helped to form my my views on race, and very early in my life the boundaries that some people face growing up around race, those walls were never really there for me. So that was a great way to grow up, although it also makes for a very difficult time when you meet people in your life who don't view things the same way you do. Okay, I'm getting off topic, but because you recommended that particular documentary, it just got me to thinking. Maybe 4 or 5 nights ago I was telling Darla I had been researching on the internet for a movie that I watched in elementary school, and I wanted to buy the DVD of it if I could find it, which I did, and I want to order it, which I haven't yet, and watch it with Darla first, and then we can decide when an appropriate time would be for Kaya to watch it also. I can't remember exactly how old I was. I want to say I was probably in 4th grade, maybe even 5th grade. But it had such an impact that here I am 36 years old, and I still remember the movie vividly, and I haven't seen it for a long, long time. But I would like to recommend this to everyone if you can get your hands on it. I don't know if you can rent it at the library, or if you really just have to go out on the internet and buy it. But it's an awesome investment. It'd be a perfect purchase for Black History Month, and a great movie to share with your kids, depending on their age, because it does have some violence and so forth. The movie is called The Autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman. It's narrated by, well, I don't want to give it all away, but it's from the viewpoint of a slave who went through being freed. And it just struck a chord with me, Beth, when you were talking about this documentary that you mentioned, because it was the whole thing, what do you do as a freed slave? And that's exactly what happens in this documentary, or in this movie that I'm talking about. Again, it's the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, Pittman, and it's very powerful. I would recommend it to everyone, and it helps a person to understand from the eyes of someone who was a slave. Now, of course, Cicely Tyson was not a slave, but she made you believe that she lived this in her acting abilities. It was just amazing. So, when I get my hands on it and I watch it, I may do a little review of it, since it's been a long time since I've seen it. But I wanted to tag this onto your video because I thought it was appropriate, and this kind of topic isn't something I generally get into in my vlogs, but here you go. So anyway, that's all. Y'all take care. Bye. Vogue.